That's a lame-ass name. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 8th episode of the miniseries Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, as well as the 153rd episode overall, titled Sowing the Seeds of Evil. We begin this episode by a bunch of teepees. Then Tommy just comes falling out of the damn sky and he walks up to a stereotypical Native American. He basically just kind of word vomits at them about how he needs a crystal, and this bitch just points at a hawk in the sky. Tommy is super confused and he stares at the bird, then goes, "Oh," and he walks away. Like he realized something? I don't know. Meanwhile, we see Kat is also arriving somewhere in Australia, which you know it's Australia because she looks to her left and sees koalas, and on the right are kangaroos. Where the hell did she get dropped down? Billy and Sestro are working on a device together, and Billy says that this weather modulator will help him recreate rainwater so that they can rehydrate the alien rangers. He then asks Sestro if they have something like Zed on their planet, and Sestro tells him about the Emperor of the Dark Waters, Hydro Hog. Zed and Rita apparently overheard this, and they talk about how they need Hydro Hog to come to Earth and help them so they can get rid of the alien rangers. Meanwhile, in Native America, Tommy is still following his damn hawk thing when a magic man appears behind him. He congratulates Tommy, and he calls himself True of Heart, and he speaks in riddles about how things will be revealed in time. He walks with Tommy, showing him ancient cave paintings that definitely weren't done by some poor, underpaid PA that afternoon. There's what looks like a Power Ranger helmet with a star on it, and even Zed's staff there. True of Heart explains that a crystal will give power to someone who will come and do something, I guess. Tommy asks if he knows where the crystal is, and True of Heart just laughs and walks away. Meanwhile, Kat is walking down the road, and an adult version of herself drives up in a Jeep, and understandably, she's super confused, and honestly same. She asks the adult Kat if she knows where a crystal is, and apparently this bitch's name is Agatha. I'm super confused. She tells child Kat to get in the car, and she'll take her to the crystal. This is getting kind of creepy. On the moon, Zed and Rita just rehash how they're going to get Hydro Hog to help them. Then in the command center, the alarms are going off because Zed is reaching out to Aquitar, and they fear that he's trying to bring someone from Aquitar to Earth. Under the base, Rito and Goldar are yelling because they've literally just been underneath the place. They then accidentally turn on the implosion device during their fight, and Goldar tells Rito to stay there so he can go get help, and he runs away, leaving Rito high and dry. Billy and Sestro are testing the hydration device, and Billy has literally made weather. I mean, the hell? It's rehydrating Sestro, and I can't help but think about how often these poor Alien Ranger actors had to get wet. Also, it's working perfectly. Rita and Zed see that this has happened, so they decide to send down Tangas. Billy goes to reach out to Zordon, but the Tangas are already there. Sestro morphs, which proves that these actors weren't actually chosen to do any out-of-suit fights, I suppose. Meanwhile, Billy gets taken away, and the Tangas start destroying the device, and Billy stupidly tries to stop them by jumping under falling metal. I mean, I don't know what his goal was there. Then the Tangas leave once it's been destroyed because that's all they came for. Billy's kind of distraught because it's completely totaled. Meanwhile, Kat and Agatha are driving along when they come upon an old woman who is also Catherine. I mean, what the hell kind of fever dream is this? The old lady asks for help, and Agatha tells Kat that if they help out the old lady, it's too late to find the crystal. I'm so confused. Tommy is with True of Heart, and the man explains that Tommy needs to forget his old self and reconnect with the Tommy inside. He's just talking in riddles about how Tommy will be able to find the crystal somehow, some way, and the forces of nature will help him, but Tommy's literally just walking around aimlessly while True of Heart says that he's doing very well. Then True of Heart tells him to hurry because if he doesn't find the crystal, it'll be lost forever. What is happening in this episode? Tommy doubts his ability, and True of Heart says that means that if it was never intended for him then. Okay, sass machine. Then Tommy walks up to a tree and a magic arrow shows up to point him in the direction he needs to go, and he follows. Old Kat is still begging for help, and young Kat gets out to help the old woman. Agatha says that she can't help young Kat anymore then. The young Kat and the old Kat walk away, and Agatha just disappears. Okay. Sestro and Billy have cleaned up the destroyed device, and Sestro fears that Zed is winning. Zed then yells at Finster to get Hydro Hog to come to Earth. In the command center, the other alien rangers see on the viewing globe that Hydro Hog is talking to Zed, and Zordon says that they need to stop Zed's transmission. Young Kat and Old Kat come to a cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and Old Kat thanks her for her help. Then she tells Young Kat that she deserves a token of her appreciation, and she retrieves a box. Inside is the Zeo subcrystal. Then Old Kat says that she's proud of Young Kat. Meanwhile, Tommy's walking around the desert and he's concentrating so that he can find out where he needs to go next. Then he just keeps walking straight, climbing up rocks where True of Heart is already there somehow. Then he gives Tommy an option of 3 random packages to choose from, saying that one is the right answer and the others will assure that Tommy will stay here forever. Then Tommy closes his eyes and concentrates, which causes a major earthquake, sparking up the 2 fake packages. It makes sense that he would hurt himself thinking because, well, it's Tommy. He gets the crystal and the True of Heart says that only those who are actually true of heart can get this crystal. He then gives Tommy half of an arrowhead, says that he'll find the other half someday to resolve his own personal quest. Then Tommy teleports away in the fashion of a red star. In the command center, Kat and Tommy show up and Kat arrives in the fashion of a pink oval. They bring them up to speed about everything that's going on with Hydro Hog and Zed, and Alpha attempts to lock onto whatever the hell he needs to block Zed's transmission. He is successful and the Alien Rangers struggle to clap. Billy says that they need to wait for Aisha to come back with the final crystal now. Imagine she's the only one that fails now. Zed and Rita are pissed that they didn't get through to Hydro Hog, and they promise to succeed next time. To be continued. Over the credits, we get more alleged outtakes from this episode that aren't funny, but instead just random other takes, it seems, from the episode. Man, I have no idea how to feel about this episode. I want to like it for getting so much done in such a short amount of time by setting up Hydro Hog a bit and also getting Tommy and Kat back with their Zeo subcrystals. And honestly, there's like a ton of real foreshadowing for Tommy in this episode. However, what the hell were these damn quests? Adam and Rocky kind of made sense because they went into the past for their native lands and got their crystals. I mean, that was it. Tommy and Kat apparently took freaking acid and had to go on drawn out vision quests for things that the others never had to do at all. Also, there's only one fight in this episode, and it's Sesho versus Tangas, while Billy is getting crushed by metal. It lasts for about 2 minutes total, which is lame. We don't even see the other Alien Rangers morph at all, and there's no damn monster. I feel like they knew exactly what they wanted to do for the finale of the miniseries, but they really could have started some of this stuff and spread it out earlier in the miniseries. I mean, there's no reason why Tommy and Kat had to be compacted into a single episode for their quests when everyone else is evidently getting their own episodes, and you have 10 episodes to play with. Other than that, it's fine, because I can actually forgive a lot about Power Rangers, because they're actually setting up some big things for Tommy that will be coming down the pipeline in the next year or so. But we'll get there when we get there. Next time, we enter our 2-part finale of the Alien Rangers miniseries. Will it at least be halfway decent? Where the hell did Aisha go? Find out next time, but until then, may the power protect you.